Good morning. How you doing? Thanks for coming by. Let's have a nice cup of coffee together. Look at the dust on that. This week's photo is of me looking up something in this historical encyclopedia of Great Britain and Ireland. And to tell you the truth, when I took the book off my bookshelf, it was absolutely covered in dust. I hadn't used it for years. And let's go back, let's say 20 years in time. I'm having my coffee and I think, oh, a student mentioned the Tudor monarchy in England and Britain last class. And they spoke about Henry VII and Henry VIII and Mary I and Queen. I want to find out more information about that. So I'm going to look in my encyclopedia. So I get my encyclopedia, which is quite heavy, and I start to look through the pages, maybe look at the index or the chapter headings. It's heavy. And I'll sit down and enjoy this. Of course, I've had to actually bring this with me in my bag. It's quite heavy. And that's 20 years ago. What do we do nowadays? We get our phone out and we look it up in Wikipedia. But what is Wikipedia? How did it start? Who founded it? And why does everybody nowadays use Wikipedia? Why do we trust Wikipedia? How did it stay neutral? Let's find out more.
How did Wikipedia become everyone's trusted place? Who hasn't used Wikipedia to resolve a doubt or find out information about a topic? Any topic. In today's presentation, we're going to talk about Jimmy Wales, the founder of Wikipedia, and the completely different path he chose compared to other tech leaders. Our main goal is to figure out how this huge, nonprofit, volunteer project manages to stay reasonable and mostly neutral when the rest of the internet is often a mess. The idea for Wikipedia started with a personal crisis. In late 2000, Wales's daughter, Kira, was born and had a serious breathing problem. Wales urgently needed reliable medical information to make a huge decision. He said searching online was like looking through a bombed-out library with nothing solid. At the time, he was working on a project to create an online encyclopedia called Nupedia, but the development was way too slow, as it only allowed experts to write. This failure led him to the totally new idea for Wikipedia: let anyone edit. Moving from strict control to full openness was a big jump, and it needed a strong set of beliefs to succeed. This is where Wales's 7 rules of trust come in. These rules are useful for any project, but we'll focus on 3 main ones. The first is having a clear, positive purpose. The simple slogan, "Wikipedia is an encyclopedia," keeps the millions of editors focused on their goal. The second and third rules are about how people should act and how the project should run. Assume good faith and radical transparency. These principles work together to make sure a volunteer group can stay stable and accurate. This idea of radical transparency is the reason the system works. On Wikipedia, nearly everything is public. Every change, every discussion on a page, who changed what and why, it's all carefully saved in the history. This means that you, as a user, can easily check the work. This openness, where everyone is held responsible, builds strong trust. It is much more effective than just saying you are an authority. Transparency gives the reader the power to check things for themselves and trust the process, which is why it is so important for the community's success. Perhaps the most difficult rule to follow today is neutrality, the promise to not take sides in any argument. Wales points out that research suggests people trust organizations less if they seem too political. This is because if you feel a strong bias, even one you agree with, you feel like you are being persuaded, not informed. When that happens, trust drops. Wikipedia's goal is to face controversial topics but present the facts neutrally. For example, the entry about Hitler doesn't need to be an angry political speech. It just needs to state the documented, terrible facts. The encyclopedia reports, it doesn't preach. This focus on objective reporting is what gives them credibility. This clear focus on the mission helps Wales defend against attacks like the recent criticism, including from Elon Musk, about the Wikipedia Foundation's funding for diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI. Wales strongly argues that DEI funding is not about U.S. politics. It is a tool to help the project be neutral and complete globally. It supports practical goals, helping Swahili-speaking editors improve articles about Africa, or making sure African American history is correctly represented by editors from that community. He says this work is 100% related to improving Wikipedia by making it truly comprehensive and therefore more neutral worldwide. Wales says he is a pathological optimist, meaning he always looks on the bright side. But he does see serious risks. He's less worried about AI content filling the site than he is about authoritarianism. Wikipedia is already blocked in China and faces pressures to censor content in Russia and other places. His policy is firm: never agree to government censorship. The final message is that Wikipedia's success is not really about clever technology. It's about sticking to these clear ethical rules, radical transparency, and having a purpose that is more important than just making money. If a source with a bias you like still makes you trust it less, maybe more platforms should follow Wikipedia's rules to find common ground. Chat about these questions and write down your opinions and ideas. 1. Describe the picture. Do you ever consult Wikipedia, read the newspaper, etc. over a coffee? 2. How do you use Wikipedia? Describe any other sources of information that you use and would recommend to others. 3. Is investing in diverse editors essential for Wikipedia to achieve a truly global and neutral perspective? 4. Are the rules of assuming good faith and radical transparency still possible or practical in modern online communities? 5. If you had the time and money, what kind of altruistic project, such as Wikipedia, would you create?